welcome back to Mucky Hope Productions, where we're talking about Survivor 50, Episode 5, and I am still recovering from COVID, so I may be a little bit quiet today. Drew, how are you?
I'm doing very well. I don't have COVID. Hopefully that stays like that for for the time being. I'm excited to talk about a non Zach Brown episode of Survivor, and I think it'll be a good time. There's a lot that happened here.
There is a lot that happened. How are you going, Jake? Thanks for joining us.
Of course, I'm doing good. Yeah, I'd say this was a sort of return to form. No celebrity taking up app screen time. So I'm excited to talk about it.
No, and I think 3 mentions of Billie Eilish this episode, and still not an Instagram post or a tweet or anything or a signal from the woman herself.
Yeah, Zach Brown was very happy to show it on his Instagram and social media, but the woman herself, Billie Eilish, nothing.
Well, and it's crazy because everyone knows that I'm not the biggest fan of the Survivor fandom, and I find myself really agreeing with them here of like, she can't say one thing about this. That's crazy.
Especially with a repost.
Especially with all the screen time her name gets. And it's not going to go away. Like it's probably going to continue throughout the season. It's wild that she hasn't. So I guess point to Zach Brown and point to Mr. Beast.
Yeah.
Has Mr. Beast already started saying stuff? I don't follow him.
Well, they had a cross promotional thing on his show, and
there you go. And Zach Brown, of course, has got 11 minutes.
Once the Mr. Beast episode comes, I would bet my life that Mr. Beast is going to be plastering his social media about it.
Oh yeah.
But it's weird because we've been hearing for years that like Billie Eilish is like a legitimate fan of the show. So either she isn't really that big a fan as we were led to believe, or she didn't like it. The way it's made to seem is that she reached out to Survivor and said, "Hey, can I be a part of season 50?" Maybe it was the opposite. Maybe.
Well, it just seems like a lot of effort for her team to go, yes, let's connect here, but then not do anything with it. It just seems like it doesn't really make a lot of sense to me.
She basically owns the rights to the Immunity Idol this season. Like she bought the rights to it, that her name is on it, and that's it. You're just expecting people to now buy idols because your name is on it, and that's not how it works. Like, it's actually turning people off to like, hey, why? The viewers, I guess, it's weird. I think I'm starting to side with the fans on this one.
It's a little bit weird, considering she is mentioned every episode. If it was just once, you'd go, okay, but it's every episode. And I think her team needs to acknowledge that because they've started this train. I can't imagine Survivor 50 did anything like this without her permission. So they started this. It's just weird now. It's getting weird, Billie Eilish. It's getting weird. So that's what I would hold up on a sign at a concert. Like, now you've made it weird.
But going off of all of that, we just going to the beginning with Ozzy. We get old Ozzy for a segment. Old Ozzy's back for a segment. I know preseason everyone was wondering why there were so many South Pacific episodes they played leading up to it, and this season has been very heavy on the South Pacific lore, to the point where we get a Cochrane reference, which Jake brought up last week.
Mm-hmm. I called it
about that. Well done, Jake.
Yes, thank you. I have to toot my own horn. I love the flashbacks. I love it because this is like, it is funny that it's like South Pacific of all seasons that's getting this treatment. I guess other than like Dave versus Goliath, but that makes sense. But I need to see some sort of payoff with Coach too. Like I see it.
Well, they're together now, I guess.
Well, yeah, we'll see. We'll see how that goes.
Yeah.
Are we shocked that Ozzy reacted the way that he did after his initial freak out? Like, are we surprised that he didn't just continue his warpath like he did on South Pacific, like he almost had a chance to do on Micronesia? Oh, I guess he kind of did while he was on the jury. These moments where it's like, yeah, oh yeah, he meditated because he's Oscar.
But then he sort of like he really regressed back to he was Oscar, then he regressed back to Ozzy.
Yeah.
But then he started to creep a little bit back to Ozzy again when they made amends, but then he was like, I need your shot in the dark.
Yeah.
And then Christian called him a dickhead or something.
It has to have been a dickhead.
Pants.
Well, he called him a prissy pants later, but like there's a scene where he calls him a blank head, and everyone on the internet is trying to figure out what he called him.
Shithead or dickhead.
I think it was a dickhead. I think it was dickhead.
Yeah, and so I was dying when they showed the flashback of like when Christian's face and body like morphed into Cochrane's. It's like, what if he sees me as Cochrane? What if this is PTSD for him? I'm like, I called that.
You did. I love that.
Yeah.
So he sort of meditated, and now do you think he's trying to be a bit more level-headed and even keel?
Well, yeah, and I know that based off of how the episode goes, spoilers, everyone kind of votes for the same person here, but I don't think that long term this is going to come back at some point. Now, whether it comes back to bite Ozzy or Christian, who's to say? We sat here last week and we talked before we went live and said, oh yeah, that Christian move was kind of not the best. Well, he survived in a situation that he definitely should have gone home. So I don't know. I feel like when it all comes back around, when they don't have Angelina to put votes on, what happens then?
Right. Yeah. If they would have not merged here, if they would or done another tribe swap, if they would have got had another round of these tribes, had they lost again, I mean, if they go back to tribal, there's 4 of them. I would assume 2-2. Christian, Emily, or maybe Emily just flips and just says, I'm with Ozzy now, because that's kind of what she wants. Like,
yeah, it's interesting. I thought that too, Jake. But we did see Emily is still very connected to Christian, which that was my concern after the episode before, that, I'm trying to get a sense of where Emily is leaning more towards Ozzy of it all or Christian of it all. And she's kind of doing both reasonably successfully, but she does still tell Christian about Ozzy.
Mm-hmm.
What would Ozzy think about that?
Yeah.
And that really makes it so Christian doesn't go, because then that compels Christian to actually give the shot in the dark. And so,
yeah, my read on this was that Ozzy was considering taking out Christian, but I think it was a very short-lived idea.
Yeah.
Because we also see that Angelina voted for Stephanie.
Yeah. So she thought she was aligned with Christian and Emily.
And I think it proves that there really wasn't any other counter plan happening back at camp. Like, obviously Ozzy's gonna need her vote to take out Christian. So I think it was a very preliminary thing. So in my mind, I think that Ozzy is gonna play with Christian very warily. Like, keep him, if he gets to a point where he feels like he doesn't need him at all, he's gone. But
Yeah.
I feel like if he feels like, I still probably in my best interest to just work with him, then he will.
Well,
Yeah.
Jake, do you think, just looking ahead, that we do have a merge situation, everyone's together, we do see the sort of Sela 2 tribe alliance with Rizzo, D, and Sari that we saw be incredibly, incredibly tight this episode. Sari saying that she and Rizzo are married, basically. Do you think Aussie gets pulled into that alliance and then they perhaps are free to work against Christian,
Yeah.
Emily, Devons of it all?
Oh yeah, I do. I think that Ozzy is my prediction on that would be that, Sari is gonna tell Ozzy about what was going on over there. He's like, hey, telling him, hey, I think we got something good with D and Rizzo. I think Ozzy's gonna be like, I'm totally on board, but I also want to include Emily. And then there's going to be a sort of thing with Emily where it's like,
yeah,
what do I
that's scary.
do?
If we bring in Emily, then oh man,
Because I mean, there was a whole like segment, like Ozzy had a whole speech thing of how he was like, I've come to really respect Emily. I think she's a super lovely woman or whatever, and I really want to play this game with her. Like, he wants to play with her. Like, he's going to want to include her, and we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Gives her the opportunity to float between, say, Christian and Devons and Rizzo, Sari, and Dean and Aussie.
Yeah. Or maybe Sari, maybe big happy family, maybe, because Sari was with Devons, maybe. Because think about it, there's 17 people. You need 9 for the majority. You need 9 people. If they all go to tribal separately, if they vote,
they voted separately this time. So Devons and Sari.
That's what I'm saying, and I think I was telling somebody, maybe it was Drew. I was texting you. I don't remember. Somebody. I have so many people that I talk about Survivor now because 50 is like bringing all these people out of the shadows. Like,
yes.
And I was saying, I think there's going to be a scene dedicated to the whole Sari and Devons kind of not being on the same page. I think Devons is going to go to Sari and be like, "What the hell? Like, why didn't you include me?" And I think she's going to be like, "Oh, I thought it was me. I was terrified. They told me I couldn't tell you, and I had to keep their trust or whatever." So I still think that there's a possibility that they can reconcile some things, as long as I think we've seen Devons can be a bit of a hothead too, a bit Ozzy-esque. So perhaps he takes it very hard, or perhaps he lets it roll and just moves forward, because he seemed to be very impressed with Rizzo at the at the end of Tribal Council. That was
he gave him a thumbs up or a pat on the back or something like that.
Yeah, he's like, dude, nice job.
Nice job.
Well, moving on to Sela, and Dee decides that she's not going to follow the Charlie and Jonathan train. She's going to start her own thing. Pulls in Rizzo for her and Sari and Camilla, who she thought was 100%, but was a little less. So who started the Charlie vote, Dee or Rizzo?
I feel like Rizzo, but it very easily, because the way that it's shot, or at least the way that it's shown to us, is that Dee starts this group, and then at the same time Rizzo is learning that Charlie is trying to throw him under the bus to Jonathan, or about Jonathan of all people, like, and so Rizzo sets his whole plan in motion, not knowing that Charlie has always wanted him gone anyway. So I think a combination of both. And I like this group. I like Rizzo, D, and Sari together, and I hope that Camilla is like locked in with them, because that would be a very fun Final Four. That'd be an amazing Final Four, because Coach wouldn't be in it. But I know it's a long road ahead. I know that they just announced today we're only going to get 13 episodes a season. So we're already, so we're halfway done, or we're ready to be halfway done after this week. that people are gonna have to start going in bunches soon. I think that's gonna start with
Yeah.
Wednesday's episode. But if we have a solid crew here of 4, I think that we could end up in a voting block type situation similar to 31 and 33, where the voting blocks change, but it's still the same core people sitting in the middle of all of those moves. And hopefully it's the 4 of them, or at least the 3 of them.
Jake, do you see Camilla wholeheartedly jumping on the Riz God bandwagon? Because she seemed a little cagey.
I think she could. Because I think the lying about Kyle stuff turned her off. Even though she doesn't even know for sure that it was a lie, but
she kind of suspected.
She's got a good sense of it, and she was right. But Rizzo, he's a charmer, man. He got Cirie. He convinced Colby.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. I think he's got the Riz. Riz God's got the Riz.
Oh God.
Well, and the fact that they keep showing us those moments as well of people being a little cagey about him at first, and then inevitably coming around to
marrying him.
What's that?
Yeah.
And then marrying him
and marrying him. I think that could be a sign of how well he does later in the game, because I was rooting for him to stay over Charlie in this episode, but I honestly thought Camilla was just, because of how much Rizzo was talking in that last segment before Tribal and at Tribal, I'm like, oh no, he's screwed. Yeah. So when Camilla does vote to keep him, basically, it's like, okay, so maybe he did turn her around. I guess we'll see. Maybe we'll see, because we don't get any confessionals from her. Maybe we will see what her thought process was in ultimately voting to keep Rizzo over Charlie.
Well, yeah, it seemed that she was intrigued by Rizzo and unsure, whereas Charlie, she had a strong sense of, I don't want to work with him. And so it was sort of the opposite of the devil, kind of situation.
Yeah, for sure.
But I also think that it was interesting that it sort of was the devil versus the devil you don't, because Rizzo was just like, yeah, this is how I played in 49.
That's true. Yeah.
He's like, I'm not gonna, he's like, I think I played a great game, and I, held an idol for 5 straight tribal councils or whatever. Is like, and Jeff, he came up to me afterwards and was like, you played so well, you were so awesome that we want you back in 2 weeks. I think that there is a positive to that, of it shows that he obviously has the capacity to lie, to do well in Survivor, you have to, but he also, if he doesn't need to, he's not gonna, he just is kind of open about where he's going. That's how he played in 49 too. He was very open about I have an idol, I'm with Savannah, I'm with Sophie. There you go.
The end. Get rid of us or don't get rid of us.
The end, literally. So I can see where it's Charlie, you don't know. He plays more savvy of I'm not gonna just tell people how I'm playing, Yeah. So if I were out there, I would take very seriously the possibility of playing with Rizzo.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, let's move over to Carlo, where Coach is happy with his knights. And, the 3 of them are pretty tight. Now, I do just want to do an inventory of the nicknames that we have this season. We've got Stone Bell Monk, which is Joe. We've got the Tide Walker, which is Coach. The Oak-bound Warrior, which is Colby. The Cougar dressed as a Ren Fair girl, which is Emily. And Polly Prissy Pants, which is Ozzy.
And God, it was very it did. So correct me if I'm wrong. So it looked to me like Colby wasn't really feeling. It looked like Joe was buying into it 100%.
Yeah.
Colby was trying. He was a bit like, "Is this?"
I feel like Colby was being nice.
Yeah.
I felt like Colby was being nice, and Joe embraced You
Oh, he
know,
loved it.
yes, I am the most honorable person that's ever played, and Coach is the second most honorable person that's ever played. Like it's, and they buy into their own bullshit. Colby, I think, is aware that the game is not played like that. The game has never been played like that. He didn't even play like that in his. I mean, he played like that with just Tina and Keith, but he turned on everybody else. His OG tribe. So I guess in that threesome, I'm rooting for Colby. My biggest fear right now is the three of them are going to potentially get Stephanie back. They have Chrissy. They might pull in Aubrey because if she brings in Aubrey, that means you bring in Tiffany. It's if this is a real life merge, like if we are merging on Wednesday and the split thing is just something else, maybe there's three people that want immunity. Who's to say? If this is a real merge, there's going to be a call to arms. Basically, there's going to be a moment where everyone's taking inventory of who, because we have 17 people. We're basically just going to be doing one world. Yeah. We're going to be doing a one world type
one
game.
One world if they were merged from the start.
They were merged the entire time. Yes.
Yeah.
Can I tell you guys something?
Yeah.
It's absolutely hilarious that I found. So I was curious if the names that he gave Colby and Joe were like real, or if he just made it up. He made it up. Stone Bell Monk and what was it? Oakbound
Warrior.
Not real at all. In fact, he has a moment where he's like, "No more Dungeons and Dragons shit. Okay, no more Warrior and Wizard. Okay, this is real.
This is real."
Apparently, Tidewalker is from World of Warcraft.
Yes,
I believe that.
And Stone, apparently somebody, I'm just reading off Reddit, so this person could be wrong, but Stone Bell Monk is just completely made up, just can't even be found anywhere. And then Oakbound Warrior is from the tabletop Magic the Gathering.
Oh.
There's also monks and warriors in World of Warcraft, so it could be that. Do you know
he's done with Dungeons and Dragons? We're on World of Warcraft now.
World of Warcraft.
All that Coach is and everything. I quite like World of Warcraft, Dungeons and Dragons, and Magic the Gathering. So it's also like it could be a fun time.
It's not a knock on those. It's a knock on him saying, "Hey, this is
honor and glory.
Like we're doing something different." It's like, well, we're just going to pull from basically the same medium, different game.
I think what Coach does is that he does what every Survivor player does, and he lies.
Yes,
but he does this sort of extra step where he lies to us too.
Yeah.
Sort of a fun little side quest where he's like, I need to lie to the other players, but why don't I just also lie to the audience? Wouldn't that be fun? Like when he said that Jonathan saved him in the ocean. No, he didn't. The swimmers did.
Yeah.
He probably just assumed they were going to cut that out. He just lies to us. It's kind of awesome.
And the question always remains: does he actually buy what he is selling, or is he in on the joke?
I don't know if you guys use TikTok at all. I don't really use it very often, but Coach's TikToks are the funniest thing I've ever seen. He does like a fit check, like showing off his outfit for the day, and they're just like edited so. It's just so odd. There was one where he just walked into the middle of the road and like went like this to a car coming by. He was like, okay. And then he just started doing like moves in the middle of the road. It was so odd.
So, okay, well then I guess going off of that, do you think that he is trying to win here? Because for everything I've knocked on him about South Pacific, I do think that I do feel he was trying to win in that game.
Totally.
I do.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't buy it here.
That he's trying to win.
Here, no, I don't buy it.
You think he's just wanting to boost his image and social
I think we're back
media
to Tocantins type Coach, where it's like, hey, I'm the character here. It just doesn't. It just feels like, because everything that he has done so far in the game, like everyone sees him as the leader of the tribe. That's just something that always happens, except for Heroes versus Villains, where people just look at him as the leader of the tribe. But here, it even from jump with the everything dealing with the Ozzy stuff, you know, the fact that he's back to doing these nicknames, the fact that he's doing all, it's like, okay, he can't really think that people are going to take this seriously enough to vote for it.
You know, I don't know what is going on in his head, but what I can tell you is that I think there is like a 1% possibility that he could win. Like, I do think he has the capability to like actually just play the game, still being very weird and very out there coach, but just play like a solid, like alliance based, like, here's my alliance, you know, maybe turn on them at some point, whatever, just like playing the numbers, whatever. And then he gets to the end and people are like, you know, coach, you actually played a pretty decent game. We'll vote for you.
5 episodes, not going to tribal as well. So there's
Yeah,
that
yeah.
helps.
Of course.
Golly.
Of course. And we don't know how solid these alliances actually are that he has.
Colby doesn't have a vote.
I think it's pretty obvious.
Yeah.
Colby doesn't have a vote. It's pretty obvious Joe is like legitimately playing with him.
Yes.
And I think Chrissy is too. Chrissy's had
well, we wouldn't know. We didn't see her this episode.
Who's to say?
But we also wouldn't know because they haven't been to tribal council.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
Chrissy hasn't either. Because she's been with Coach both times. Yeah. So
Well,
who knows? But I'm just saying,
is
like,
something there,
literally,
Jake.
it's
Yeah.
possible. There's a non-zero chance.
None of the real hardcore gamers are looking at him, really. Well, and also because he hasn't been to tribal, but
Yeah.
he's kind of going under the radar because he has created this ridiculous character. So either you're drinking the Kool-Aid, which Joe definitely is, Aubrey's going to use him as much as she needs him.
Yeah.
But also the serious players, they're not going to go, Coach has to go number one. We can't have Coach in this game. Coach will kill us
I
all.
think it depends. I really think it depends. We could get to a point where he's sort of like gathered together like Colby, Stephanie, Joe, Aubrey, Genevieve, like whatever, Tiffany, if Aubrey's there as well. Maybe he becomes like the glue of some sort of alliance.
Maybe.
I don't know. There's a possibility
that would be perfect right now, because then he gets targeted. Like, I'm being biased here, but like if we go into the merge and he is established himself as not only the leader of his OG and swap tribe, but the leader going into the merge of some big alliance, if it gets clocked early enough, we can kind of do something with that. Like, we'll do something, meaning we can get rid of him before he gains even more traction. And my fear is that's going to be Christian. Like, Christian's going to be the person that everyone kind of looks at, because enough people have been to tribal with them or have like heard about things that have happened. That's like, okay, that's scary. We should probably nip this in the bud. And then, you know, Coach should be the next person up in that situation. I do think that Christian is out there now that, like,
I think that what all three of us are saying, like, can kind of tie together of like, maybe they do not look at him until it's too late. They focus too hard on Christian at first. And then before they realize it, wait a second, Coach is like gathered together like his legion of samurais or whatever. and they have numbers.
Like,
what do we do?
It's his guild. It's
a guild. Yes.
It's guild.
Well, it's a bit like how Joe got so far in his season. He was the dad. He was the dependable one. Didn't earn him the win, but it got him pretty far. And potentially that's what's going to happen with Coach as well, that he's sort of the dependable one.
Yeah.
And but not enough of a threat that people are sort of gunning for him, but ultimately doesn't get him there.
I think
at the end.
I think there's so many possibilities of how Coaches.
Anything can happen on Survivor 50.
Yeah.
Anything can happen.
Anything can happen. Well, let's go on to the challenge, and that there's going to be 2 tribals and stuff. My highlight was Tiff untying the bags with the
Yeah, wow. That was crazy.
my
I
favorite
wish we
bit.
could have heard what she had to say about that, but once again, but yes, it was like I wish we could have. Yeah, but I loved it. I think obviously me and Jake sat here last week, and I think we both said that the Christian's tribe was going to go back, and then one of the other two. Obviously, I was hoping for the the coach tribe because more of them haven't been to tribal,
Yeah.
so it would have been interesting to see how things would have played out there. I don't think it would have gone well for probably Genevieve. But we get this win. Tiffany has her moment. Hopefully the first of many moving forward. We'll see. And yeah, it's back to tribal for one. And the compelling storyline of the episode is the Rizzo versus Charlie thing, but also Rizzo's group and will or won't Camilla bite.
Even so, when Charlie was talking to telling Camilla for the first time ever about the Billie Eilish idol, she's a good little actor.
Yeah.
She's
Or was it Charlie when Charlie was telling?
Charlie was and Camilla's like, you're too late.
Charlie, if you would have told me a couple hours earlier, then you'd still be here, bud. I don't know if that's actually true. I don't know if that actually was like the deciding factor, but that would be funny.
I feel like it was part of it. She's so petty. I love her.
Yeah. And what screen time we do get with her, I enjoyed her in 48. So I think that now we're getting more time with her.
Thank goodness.
Those old feelings are coming back of she's good. She's really good at the game, but she's also a great confessionalist. And people have been comparing her to Courtney Yates in Heroes vs. Villains, where it's like, yeah, we know that they're saying all this snippy stuff. We're only getting brief pieces of it, but when we do get brief pieces, it's such great shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Same with Sandra. Everybody, I feel like, remembers Sandra in Heroes vs. Villains as like this huge character. She has like 6 straight episodes of Zero Confessionals in Heroes vs. Villains. But then every time she does speak, you remember it because it's good. Yeah, my hope for this season with some of these under-edited women, such as Chrissy, Tiffany, Camilla, and I think we saw it here with Camilla. It's like she got content when she went to Tribal Council and when she was like.
I think that's a big part of it.
Like, I think that Tiffany and Chrissy, like, they just haven't had their moment yet. I won't defend 2 confessionals or 3 confessionals, whatever Tiffany has. Like, with 90-minute episodes, you can squeeze in a couple more, okay? But I think that, like, in general, like, she just hasn't had her moment yet. It would suck if she just goes out like at her first tribal and gets like 5
That's
confessionals.
kind of what happened to
total.
Angelina. She was purple.
I think Angelina's is much less defensible because she went to tribal like 3 times.
I think every episode she went to tribal. I'm pretty sure, right?
No, because she wasn't on.
Because she started off with
she was on the tribe that lost Kyle, and then they got swapped, and then she went to tribal. Q gone, Mike gone, and then
okay.
I think
for her, I'm like, okay, that's much less defensible because it's like you had time. She was there. You just didn't hear from her,
Well, I saw what Angelina said about the females and the confessionals and the Zach Brown of it all. Yeah, I think the Zach Brown was an incredible reward, and I think when I saw it, I was like, "That's fuck." I don't know who he is, but I thought, no, that's really cool. We didn't need to say. We could have cut him by 6-7 minutes of time.
Yeah.
So and I disagree with Angelina because we've heard a lot from Emily. We've heard a lot from Cirie.
Genevieve.
And I think the issue is tribal. I think we're not hearing from people that aren't going to tribal. That's where the issue lies, not with gender.
Like I saw that like Jonathan is like
Jonathan hasn't got much content. I don't believe.
Has like no confessionals. Like
we barely heard from Colby really nowadays. Like just a little bit. And
well, yes, he also hasn't been to tribal either, so that's probably a big reason too.
And with Angelina, I can see where she's coming from, but also after they knew they were going to tribal, Angelina was worried about a blind side. She had a whole confessional, but then she does nothing. So perhaps the content just isn't there. If she's going, okay, well, I'll vote for Stephanie because I'm close with Christian and Emily. Where's the story?
Yeah, and I think my one thing is like they should have given her like some sort of like, here's what I've been up to for the past 7 years since being on Survivor or something. Like I feel like every boot except for her.
But we did see her on White Lotus. We saw her, like they did do a little bit of like
we did a little bit.
We were on White Lotus. Yeah,
I thought you were saying, we saw her on White Lotus. I forgot they showed the clip.
But they showed a clip, and so I feel like they did do that of like, this is what she's been up to. Is she close to Mike on White Lotus? I sort of to sort of what I would say to her is like, well, what else did you want them to show? If you weren't going to go, I'm worried about a blind side, so I'm going to target Christian and put together a whole campaign. What do you want them to show?
Also, she got very unfortunately, she was the sort of like throwaway boot in the double boot episode, which that's like a trope where it's like usually those types of people are more under edited, where it's like really the main focus of the episode is the Charlie tribal council, so it's like she just kind of got tossed aside, and I completely understand why she's upset because I saw she posted something. I didn't watch it, but I heard from some other people that it was like a really cool, like, here's what I did talk about on the show, like how like giving birth, becoming a mom, kind of reflecting on her time on Survivor, and then like there was a lot there. I didn't watch it, but that's what I heard.
I watched it. I loved it.
So it's like, and I think it was like a minute long or something like that.
And I mean, Chrissy has pointed out the fact that like she also shit herself relatively publicly. Like she bled on herself at some point, and I think she puked on herself at another point. And she's like, all three of those. I don't even care if it's embarrassing. Like you could have shown any of those.
It's my moment. Yeah.
Yeah, because. And Chrissy's been very vocal about it from jump. Like she's been doing this all season. And I'm curious to see how Survivor feels about it. And I know we're jumping the gun by like 8 episodes, but at the finale, I'm not going to be shocked if Chrissy or Angelina bring it up. And what I'm afraid is going to happen is Jeff's just going to avoid asking them questions. So to avoid that being a topic of discussion at the reunion.
And I think maybe Chrissy is so upset because she becomes a very major piece of this season, and she's like, "What the hell? I was not expecting this at all.
I win."
Like I'm literally the winner, guys. Like what the heck? Which I don't think it would happen. But maybe her time just hasn't come yet. I'm not dismissing any of these comments that they're making. I think that the whole Zach Brown versus Tiffany thing is like kind of indefensible, Yeah. But maybe Tiffany or Chrissy has like a 19 confessional episode. I don't know. I'm not saying
maybe we finally see her puke on herself.
Maybe.
Well, I guess my issue is because we're running out of episodes. Like we've got 8 left. 7 left. Like 7 left. If we're doing 13 episodes, it would be 7. So we've got 7 episodes left to like it's one, we have to get rid of half or over half the people that we have left in the game.
Yeah.
Because if we're going to do a finale with 5 or 6, I'm assuming 5, yeah, we're going to have to be cleaning the house very fast. This is why I think that it'll be a triple boot episode coming up here on Wednesday, because you gotta catch up to the episodes.
Yeah.
Well, let's move on to that. You know, the tribal, because we'll get to that afterwards. But let's just talk about tribal again. I feel like these tribals, no one's really saying anything at all, really.
I feel like the second one, a lot was being said, mostly by Rizzo. You know, Charlie had some words, and it was more about watching Camilla. And like, I understand that it's edited to make it, but like watching Camilla watch everything go down. They start bringing up the fact that, you know, Rizzo just finished playing and how that usually goes for people that are coming back this season after they play. He's being very open and honest, and I think it was Camilla that says, "But we don't know that," or something like. And then Devins kind of chimes in. We also, just not fun fact. I had loved Jeff's impressions.
Yeah,
I thought they were great. I thought they were very accurate. But yeah, so I mean, back to this. Yeah, I think I disagree with that, because I do feel like there was a lot being said at the Charlie Rizzo one.
Yeah. And we see Angelina give her jacket as a nice full circle moment. I was like, give the jacket. And Camilla ultimately chose Charlie to go home with teardrops on his guitar.
It was great. My Wi-Fi went out right before they went to go vote.
No.
And it was out for about 10 minutes. And so I didn't want to go online because I wanted to watch it happen in real time. Yeah. So I'm like texting everyone on the East Coast saying, hey, find a video on Twitter or something, because the Survivor doesn't stream on Paramount Plus until midnight if you don't watch it live.
Right.
Someone find me a video of what happened and don't tell me what happened. So thankfully, you know, about half an hour passes and someone finally finds the clip of the voting confessionals and ultimately Charlie being voted out. But it was really hard to just kind of sit there on my ass for 30 to 45 minutes, not knowing what happened after that tribal, like, I thought was pretty good, and not know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, I loved Rizzo's voting confessional.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
He's like, I know Taylor Swift too, bitch. Like, I'm gonna.
Oh my gosh.
Like, because he was like every, like, Bad Blood, Getaway Car, like, I can't remember.
I should have written them down. Every line was correct, and my husband was like, "Are they Taylor Swift songs?" I'm like, "Yeah, he got them all."
Yeah,
he got a bunch of them in there.
And then Charlie, it's funny because I think he had in his exit press, he was sort of like, you know, I was a bit surprised that they focused so much on me being upset at Rizzo for not voting for his number one. And it's like, bro, it was literally your voting confessional. When you voted for Rizzo, you literally said, you know, what really put the nail in the coffin was when you told me you didn't vote for your number one. It's like, what did you expect them to do? That's just like the most perfect little story that they are able to tell if they go with that. So I thought that was funny.
Oh my gosh. Well, that wraps up that episode. Anything else that anyone wants to say about that tribal? Because I want to move on to next week.
No, I thought it was fun. I'm glad Charlie's gone. His fans are very annoying, so
Taylor Swift.
No,
she's lovely.
They can go hide under a rock and stop bullying Kenzie and Maria now. I was very happy with it.
There you go.
Cool. So next week, for the thing that's going to change Tribal or Survivor forever, what's going around the place? Because I'm out of the loop. What's the gossip train saying? Because we do have 17 people left.
So I've heard Merge of 17 with 2 people going to exile, and somehow they split up into groups of 3 for something. So it might not even be it could just, I don't know, it could be a one world type thing, or they merge, 2 people go to exile, 5-5-5, 3 people go home. Like I don't know. I'm curious how they're gonna, because they have to get rid of people.
Yeah.
There's not enough time left. They have to start getting rid of people.
Yeah, but I mean, the first thing that pops in my head, like my instinct is, there's no way that there's going to be 17 people all at Tribal at once voting. I just
No.
like my mind can't even compute that they would have that happen.
Yeah.
It would just be too convoluted. It wouldn't even make for a good episode of Survivor, because it would be too hard to tell the story of like, here's what's going on. So I would not be shocked at all if what you said, Drew, that they split up into 3, 2 people go to exile. That sounds, especially if it's a 2-hour episode, 3 tribals in 2 hours, that's pretty feasible, I think.
Yeah.
If they can do 2 tribals in 1 episode, if you add another hour, you could throw in another tribal,
and do some Exile Island stuff as well.
Yeah, it gives you time to breathe. Like you can commit 2 segments to the merging and watching the dynamics. The 3rd segment could be the immunity challenge. We have some exile time. We get our 3 tribals, and you can absolutely knock that in 2 hours.
Yeah. So all of that
and
being
then maybe
said,
we have a double further down the track.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So all that being said about how, I think what Drew's saying would make perfect sense. What is the twist going to be at Tribal? Because that's what they're advertising, is that there's some sort of twist at Tribal Council, right?
Is it that for the first time ever, 3 people are being voted out this
Could be.
episode?
Could be.
Is it as simple as that, of like, they've never had 3 people voted out? Well, to my knowledge, 3 people voted out in a single episode.
Yeah, that's never happened. So
maybe that's the whole thing.
That would make sense.
Survivor history.
But to me, it felt like, and I could be wrong, that they're sort of advertising like, in 41 when they did Do or Die, like, I don't think they're going to do that. And I really
no, they're not doing that.
Because I think they've like publicly admitted like that's one of the worst twists they've ever done. But I don't know. There's a weird feeling in me that's like, or maybe it's like, but then that would have been done before. I was going to say the bottle twist in Cook Islands, where they voted somebody out, and then they had a bottle. And then they had to vote immediately. They opened it, and then it said, "You must vote someone else out now."
That's
so they had to vote. Fun. I would, yeah.
That's not fun.
But then again, that would have been done before, and they're advertising this as something that's never been done before. So
I think it's 3.
Yeah.
And that hasn't been done before. Yeah. And it'll take up a lot of time, like you guys said.
Yeah.
So I think you guys might be right. 2 to exile.
Is it a 2-hour episode, or is it like 2 episodes back to back?
Oh.
I thought it was a 2-hour episode.
Let's see. I'm going to look it up.
Because then they'd still have to have a double somewhere along the line, but
yeah, because we talked about this last week about when they know what episode do they normally merge at and what numbers are they at that point. If we got down to 14 in this episode, we'd still be behind that pace, but we'd be at least a little bit closer to catching up to the pace of 13 episodes and all of that. Because I mean, the finale is going to be 3 hours, so I guess they could go into the finale with 6 people, and
they could,
for
the first time ever.
So it's just 1 episode.
That's right.
Okay, so I think it's 3 people voted out 1 episode. Never been done before. Everyone's going to lose their minds, apparently, according to Jeff.
Oh dear.
We'll see. We will see.
We shall see. On that note, make sure you subscribe to find out. We'll talk about it next Tuesday. Hopefully with less COVID, 100% less COVID next Tuesday. Well, Tuesday for me, Monday night for you guys. And also hop on to our Instagram, Mucky Hope Productions. We've also got Australian Survivor content happening. Mucky's been super busy with that. Yeah, anything else you guys would like to add before we sayonara?
No.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us, everyone. See you next week. Bye.